I'm going to close with a story that many of you have heard me speak about before. It was a profoundly meaningful story that happened to me at the age of 19. And I'm sorry you have to endure it again, but it was sort of my wake-up call. It's when I sort of realized who I am and what I'm supposed to do. I was a punk. I was a hardware salesman. I was driving home from work with my buddy Mark Price, who ironically also went into ministry, maybe because of this moment, I don't know. But I was driving home from work and I came up to this stop sign and I looked down to my right and there was these guys all cussing at me, just yelling all these profound, absurd things that you shouldn't have said. And I got mad and I flipped them off. I do not encourage that. They immediately pulled in behind us and I noticed that the cab in their car was on and I was acting the fool. I was hanging out the window saying, "Come on, let's fight," right? Which I don't punch people. I'm not a fighter. I use my words. And so here they are following us, the lights on in the back of their car. And I'm sitting there saying, "Let's just go to my house," and telling him, "Let's go to my house," or "Let's go by Johnny's house and we'll go Johnny Beefcakes. He was a 6'5" football player. "Let's go to John's house and we'll just whoop these boys. They're following us." Well, as I'm saying that, I hear boom, boom, boom. And I went down and there's like glass all over the back of my neck. There's glass all in the car. And I turned around and look and there was a hole right where my head was that was like this big. It was humongous. And I'm like, what? And I'm like holding my neck and Mark is yelling, "Are you hit, Blake? Are you hit?" And he takes off through the intersection, goes to my house. I run inside. I'm talking to my dad. I'm like, "Dad, I think I was shot at. I think somebody shot at me. Call the cops." They call the cops. The policeman gets there. He comes into my room where I was crying because I just got shot at. And he's like, "Come outside, young man. I want to show you something." He brought me out to the truck. He reaches down in the floorboard of that truck and he grabs the baseball hat that I was wearing. And I had it on my head. And he showed me that the button on the top of my hat had been shot off. And he held that hat. He reaches in on top of the dash and he grabs the bullet. And he holds that hat and that bullet. And he looks at me and he says, "Young man, I think God has a plan for your life." I've wanted to find that guy so many times and tell him, the voice of God spoke to me through you. What you said happened. I want to tell him that I've got to baptize thousands of people. I want to tell him that I've spoke the word of God all over the world. I want to tell him that I've seen people's lives transformed by the truth of Jesus. And I want to tell him that, yeah, you know what? You were right. God did have a plan for me. And I don't want to waste my moments. I recognize that every second matters. Some of you maybe will never come into our church again. Maybe this is it. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to testify. I'm going to tell you my testimony. God changed me. He made me better. He gave me hope. He gave me joy. He gave me life. He gave me purpose. And you can have it too.
I need Pastor Blake to hop up here with me real quick. Come here, big guy. Hey, I love this man right here. Yeah. He is personally a friend. He's my pastor. He's my leader. He helped save my marriage. He stuck his foot into my tail when I needed it. He's a friend. And a few months ago, or not a few months ago, about a month ago, when he was preaching before Christmas, he preached on a sermon about his life, about how his life was changed and saved, or God changed him, God saved him, but through an incident that involved a police officer. And Mr. Shaw, whose daughter we just prayed for earlier, grabbed me and he goes, "Chad, I need to talk to you." I'm like, oh man, here we go. Hope it's not about budget stuff, because I'm the worst elder to talk to about budget stuff. And he starts crying. He goes, "Chad, I've never heard the voice. And I'm like, you never heard a voice? He goes, I've never heard the voice of God. And I'm like, well, what did he tell you? Tell me. He said 3 words, go find him. And I went, ooh, okay, God, that was for me. Well, brother, let me introduce you to Lieutenant Philip Wise, retired. Is this working?
I was going to bring his full police record to here, but they have a 50-pound limit, so I couldn't carry it off. But no, Blake, really. Yes, I'm from Bethany. Yes, for this. Your deal happened August 11th, 1993.
That's right.
Yes.
Gosh, look at this here.
And just in closing, never miss a chance to make a difference in someone's life, because this is prime right here what happened. So